Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every week. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben.
And we're back, baby!
Yeah.
I hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day. We put out an episode. It was awesome. I love that movie so much that I bought the steel case for it.
Yep. And going even further, I made a promise on the show. Was it on the show or was it afterwards?
No, it was on the show. You know what? I finished editing that a while ago. I remember.
That I'd go and find Moosehead beer. And so I went out the next day. Bob will attest. I sent him a picture.
He texted me.
Of a 6-pack of Moosehead lager. And I brought a bottle here.
I want to try it because I'm not that big into beer. But because I like that movie, and I think it's really fun. Do you know how to use a bottle opener, Ben?
Yeah, where's the bottle opener on this fucker?
I got it. Hold on. This would be good ASMR.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Oh, that sounded so fucking crisp in my headphones.
Here. I always have like one of the classic ones,
Like the flat ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Jesse has.
Oh, I can open a bottle with a piece of paper.
Okay, that sounds like bullshit.
No,
you made that up.
No, because if you hold the bottle in your hand
Mm-hmm.
and like wrap your finger around the tip, as long as you have something flat and firm, you can lever off the cap.
Huh.
So you can use like a piece of paper, a fork,
That's cool.
anything.
This stuff, it looks Canadian, man.
So it's a lager. That's like
Mhm.
the traditional one. For
It's
anyone who doesn't know,
union
it's the
made.
oldest like independent brewery in Canada.
Yeah, super cool.
1867. Now, it's a lager. It's basically like, I think it's like a better Budweiser. Not a Bud Light, but just like traditional
Bud Light's
Budweiser.
gross.
Because it's 5%.
That is the best beer I've ever had. Unironically.
I mean, again, it's the same type of beer as a Budweiser.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't taste like shit.
Wait, are you thinking it like a real Budweiser or like Bud Light?
No, a real Budweiser.
Yeah, it's higher quality.
It's way better. I don't drink a lot of beer. I'm more of a cocktail man myself. Like, I like a good Moscow Mule.
I drink a lot of beer. But I drink like stouts and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Benjamin
Usually
is
high percentage.
I don't want to say pretentious about his alcohol, but he has some thoughts. I've heard some tales.
Pretentious is a word, yeah.
Particular,
I think is the word.
particular's a little
'Cause
better.
I brew alcohol for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do homebrew. So
And that's actually really good.
I like to try a bunch of stuff so I can be like, I've had that.
I like Saint Germain.
I've had Saint Germain.
Yeah, we've talked about. I don't know on the podcast, but we've talked about Saint
That's
Germain
the elderflower
before. Mm-hmm.
liqueur. Super good if you just have like some bubbly water.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me.
Good way to get really, really, really drunk though, because it's basically like a sugared syrup you put in a soda,
Mm-hmm.
except like 40% plus alcoholic.
Oh my god.
And so you pour a lot of syrup in there like you're making a soda, and you put soda water, and it's essentially an alcoholic soda.
See, that sounds tasty.
It's so good.
Oh man, actually, my friend Mason is brewing his own mead right now.
Yeah, I got one in my room. I need the bottle because it's been sitting for like 6 months at this point.
Oh lord.
No, so that's fine. So it's in sorry, we're getting into alcohol stuff. It's in secondary fermentation.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, secondary fermentation. So basically it is sitting and clarifying right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it went through primary.
Yeah, I think Mason just made basic ass like honey mead, and Jesse, one of my other friends, he was like, you should make like juniper berry mead from Skyrim. And last night when we were hanging out, Jesse brought out a tin of juniper berries and was like, eat one. They taste terrible.
Yeah.
Why would you eat one? He was like,
'cause
they
you're
taste so
starving.
good. And I was like, this tastes like someone took a pine cone, scooped up some dirt, and then fed it to me.
I kind of like juniper berries, but then again, I like more like those kind of, I don't know, pine scents
Mhm.
and stuff.
Yeah. It was very soapy as well, I felt, at least.
It's just because we associate that scent and flavor with soap and stuff.
Yeah.
They make what's it called? It's not pine. It's one of the types of pine.
Pine tar, maybe?
No, it's not pine though. It's there's a certain beer you can get that's like made
Oh.
from a conifer.
That's kind of cool. Fir?
No.
I'm trying. I don't know a lot about trees.
That was my rapidly typing noise.
I like that we're fucking day drinking. It's almost not even 1
It's
p.m.
5 p.m. somewhere.
It's 5 p.m. somewhere. If you're watching this at 5 p.m., have a drink with us.
Spruce beer.
Oh, like birch beer.
Yes, it's a sort of. So like spruce beer, it's like an old kind of colonial thing, but it comes from Native Americans and stuff.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
basically they would take spruce needles and all that stuff, and if you essentially soak the needles in water, there's a ton of like vitamin C and a bunch of other vitamins in it.
That's actually
And,
really cool.
People in colonial times were like, health benefits. It keeps us from getting sick. They didn't really know what, but they were like, we're not getting scurvy anymore. They're like, let's put it in beer.
Oh, that's probably
Which
all right.
downside when they made it for beer, they boiled the the absolute shit out of the spruce, which kind of destroys a lot of the
good
the
stuff.
vitamin C and stuff in
Mhm.
there.
All right.
But it's like a very woody flavored beer.
Probably pretty tasty.
Anyways, glad you like some Moosehead.
Yeah, this is actually good. I was worried that I wasn't going to like it, which is kind of a running track record when you bring things on and I try them on the show. I usually don't like them.
What have you tried that I brought?
Eggnog.
Oh yeah, that's the only one thing.
That's the one. Well, I mean,
but eggnog's
100%.
a thing that like I didn't like it first, and it just grew on me because it's very
Yeah.
much a holiday thing.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
I like beer though.
This is a good beer.
I mean, it's a very good, I think, entry level beer for.
I could see
Lager?
myself actually just drinking this regularly, unlike other beer. Like, I remember the first time I ever had, like, a Bud Light. I literally vomited.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, that's foul.
Most
Who
American
drinks
beers,
this?
hot take, are not good.
No, they're not good.
They're made to be cheap and low alcohol content so that you can drink a lot without getting drunk.
Mhm.
In fact, I think, I'm not sure if this is the case anymore, but I heard back in the day that like American beer was illegal in Germany.
Oh, that's wild.
Like you just couldn't sell it there because
wonder why.
it'll destroy the beer culture. There's really, really strong.
Oh, yeah,
like they
for
have
sure.
a bunch of purity laws for like what grains you can use in
Mhm.
alcohol. But anyways, if they had like stuff like American beer, it'd destroy the economy for beer.
Yeah, we learned about that actually in my German class that I took. Because
Because-
part of it is learning about the culture.
But
And that
yeah.
was a big thing.
But American beer is so much cheaper, you can drink so much more of it.
Mhm.
Versus like a German lager might be like 10%. So
Yeah, can't really drink a lot of those.
I mean you can if you're used to it.
I
but-
mean, sure. I mean, the only other beer that I've had, like, that wasn't Americans, technically Corona, comes from Mexico.
yeah, but that's kind of that same
Yeah.
style.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Same
called session beers, which is just a fancy word of saying it's half the percent that thing's supposed to have.
Oh, I see.
So like a Bud Light is like close to 2.5%.
I was about to say, Bud Lights are like nothing.
And then they even go lower, but
Yeah.
they don't taste good because when you go for that low alcohol content, you get rid of the fermentation, which is how you get a lot of the.
A lot of the flavor.
Super off topic,
I mean, yeah, listen, we
Um,
always open the show with a conversation about something, and this time it just happened to be beer.
but
You know.
alcohol's fun. I'm going to a beer fest in March.
Are you really? Oh, yeah.
That's a fun thing. Like
you
the
want to peel
first
back the curtain on that one?
the first weekend in March, I'm going to an ale festival down here in Louisville, the Tailspin Ale Festival. I've been before,
Mm-hmm.
but I got tickets from my dad for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm probably gonna get pretty drunk,
Yeah,
just because if you've never been to a beer festival, I know Bob you haven't.
I have not.
They're very fun if you like beer. Which Bob, you don't really like beer.
Not really. This is the only beer that I've really been like, this is pretty good.
The best way to get used to it is to go with like a light flavor one, like a lager like this. Drink it for a while till you get used to it, and then get stronger flavors like a stout, like a Guinness.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Which are-
Jesse loves Guinness.
Drink a couple more of these, get used to it, and then try a Guinness. A Guinness is pretty light in flavor and pretty smooth, so it's a good entry to like darker beers.
Mm-hmm.
But once you like beers and like beers that have different flavors and stuff, ale festivals are great because basically all the local breweries from an area come. So the Tailspin, there's like 30 or 40,
Oh, that's really cool.
and each one has a booth that has like 3 to maybe 5 or 6 different beers at that booth. They give you a cup, and you just pay for entry, and it's unlimited beer for as
That
long
is
as the festival's going.
Dangerous.
It's very dangerous. It's very,
Sounds
very,
like a
very
blast,
dangerous.
though.
It's a lot of fun if you like beer because they have things that are like, if you were to buy, like, you can't find in bottles.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff, if you were to buy it as like a pint at their brewery
Yeah.
or in bottles, would be very, very expensive.
Oh, dude, I know.
because it's like the small batch stuff.
Mm-hmm. Me and Jesse went to Georgia for a concert. This was back in April last year, and we drove past Tennessee, and on the way through Tennessee, we saw a sign in Chattanooga that was like, "Hey, we sell Moon Pie beer."
Yeah.
And me and Jesse were like, "Well, we have to stop. We have to get a case of Moon Pie beer." So we stopped and we got a 4-pack of cans of Moon Pie beer. I personally did not like it very much. It was way too bitter for me, but Jesse loved it.
Yeah, it was a stout, right?
Yeah, it's a stout.
Pretty bitter sometimes.
But there's also like really, really cool stuff that local breweries will do that's like super niche flavor wise. I assume they'll have it like this festival and stuff, right?
yeah, it depends on like who's there. But yeah, usually they bring some of their more popular ones, and then sometimes some small batch stuff. But sometimes those real small batch stuff, you can usually only find it at a brewery, but it's very expensive sometimes. So like the last time I went to the Tailspin, they had like this really good sour cherry beer, super good. But like things I've saw brewery that's local, Gallant Fox,
Mm-hmm.
really great. We should go there at some point.
Okay.
They had like a bourbon barrel aged apricot beer.
That just sounds delicious.
Super expensive though.
Yeah, I think we paid like $40 for 8 cans of the Moon Pie beer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, because they only make it there. Like, it's licensed by Moon Pie.
Oh,
like, it is
that's why.
officially Moon
I
Pie
was gonna
beer.
say that's way overpriced because they have Gallon Fox,
Mm-hmm.
which is local, has a Moon Boots one, which is just Moon Pie,
Yeah.
but a lot cheaper. You want to go to the brewery after recording this?
After recording?
Yeah.
I,
This one episode.
I don't know.
I don't know. This is a long intro.
No, we're only 13 minutes in. We're good.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's not too bad. No, I mean, listen.
I like alcohol or
Yeah.
beer at least and stuff.
We got to talk about some things. Listen, I haven't seen you in a day.
Mm.
It's been a
I
long
know.
time. It's forever. Oh, my God. All right. Benjamin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're doing a podcast. Anything interesting happened to you this week, Bob?
Not really. Nothing interesting this week, Benjamin. I think we've gone on long enough. I want to choose a movie.
Really? Did anything interesting happen to me? I had like 2 or 3 papers due this weekend.
See, I knew your answer was going to be school because on Friday, you didn't speak to me. You barely spoke to me on Friday, and I went, Ben's having a terrible time.
Oh, yeah. I was just kind of like, I don't know. Friday and Thursday at work, I just put on my headphones for about the whole night,
Yep.
which our nights are about, the nights we spend inside, not driving, which are when I have my headphones on, about 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I listened to Ben Folds both nights for about 12 hours in total.
I was sitting there and I was looking at I was like, I don't think I should disturb this man. He looks at peace with himself. I'm just gonna talk to somebody else.
I was grooving,
Listen, I wasn't gonna interrupt.
but I was just kind of like, I need to drown out life right now.
It was Well, I mean, at least work wasn't bad, right? Like Friday
Nah, it
wasn't
wasn't
terrible. Got sent home early. It was nice. Not horrible.
All right.
But
Podcast, right?
yeah, podcast stuff.
What episode are you picking?
I had a really good time with Demons last episode. I'm gonna be honest. Like that movie. Let's just say I was looking at the Blu-ray for that too, but I didn't buy it. I guess
Emily Rose?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Good demon choice?
Yeah. It was good. I'm having a really good time.
Very different from The Exorcist, right?
Oh, very very different. Oh, I don't. Oh, you just made me angry. You reminded me of
yeah, we should talk about that here.
No.
No, we're talking about it.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So, I think that was Friday. You came up to me and were like, I heard about the Exorcist remake.
I got mad. I'm pissed off. I'm so upset.
Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, I think it's Blumhouse
Yeah.
is remaking The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
The director, do you know his name?
No, I don't remember his name. I read the article, but I don't remember. You can look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. David Gordon Green.
First of all, I've never heard of this man.
Anyways, actually, I'm going to see what he's done.
Yeah, I want to
But-
see what else he's done.
He apparently mentioned that he was remaking The Exorcist with Blumhouse.
Yeah, they hadn't announced that yet. He just said it in an interview.
Which I assume he
Probably in
got
hot water
trouble
for.
But what was his comment exactly he made about it?
He basically made a comment about how he thinks he could make a way better movie. Like, super cocky.
Which is,
I've said it on this podcast. I'll say it before. I think that movie is nearly perfect.
yeah, I mean, I get saying, like, there's a difference in sensibility between, 1960 something?
No, oh no, it was, oh God.
64?
70, no, it was like 73.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You know what? This is what notes are for.
Yeah, this is what they're for. I never remember shit like I'm
Let's
bad
go to
with dates.
season 2, They Live Inside, The Exorcist, 1973.
73. I was right.
I get a difference in sensibility and, like, different movies are scary.
That's fair.
And, like, The Exorcist, unless you watch it when you're young and you're not exposed to, like, modern sensibilities with horror, it's not too scary. It's suspenseful. I think it does suspense very well. But it's not very scary. And I could get going, hey, I'm remaking this film. I think I can make it a lot scarier for an audience.
And that's okay to say, but that is not what he said.
But that film is, like, near perfect. It might not be scary anymore,
No.
but it is very, very, very well done.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so things he's directed, right?
Yeah.
He did Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, and
Oh,
Halloween.
no!
Those 20, the new ones.
Get out of here. If this movie's bad, I'm gonna be so fucking angry.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, you know what? I can say give him the benefit of the doubt. It's a very cocky way to phrase things, and I don't agree with that because that's a high bar you're setting out for yourself.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You shouldn't do that.
Like, you're setting yourself up to fail. Like, that's all you're doing when you're saying shit like that.
Because it's one of the highest grossing films of all time.
And didn't you do the math and it was like number 9?
So
and that's with like
I
the lower
Googled it.
budget, right?
I Googled it and saw if like there was someone accounting for inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Someone accounted for inflation, and it was like number 9 for the highest grossing films of all time. But the number they had for the box office was different than the number I had. It was lower.
Mm-hmm.
And if it had been higher, it would have been higher ranked. With that being said, a lot of those really high grossing films are much older than Exorcist because like Snow White, which one of the first
Yeah.
full-length animated films. And they don't really have good numbers on that. But point being, Exorcist, it's great. It did amazing in the box office. He's setting himself up probably for failure.
Like, I'm gonna watch it in theaters. Don't get me wrong.
I'm gonna go watch it. Bob and I will probably go watch it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go watch it in theaters because that's one of those things where it's like I want to see that in theaters.
Yeah,
Because if it's good, it's gonna be incredible.
now we haven't watched a film in theaters yet
We've talked
for
about
this
it.
podcast. I'm gonna put this out here now. I don't know if Bob will cut this depending, but
I don't know. We'll see.
I think my idea for watching a film in theaters is that we'll come back and do like kind of maybe an initial reaction.
I think that works.
And then eventually, if we think it's a good podcast episode, we'll decide, when we're doing an initial episode. We'll probably come back, buy the Blu-ray eventually, and then do like a special on it.
Yeah. Well, isn't the 50th anniversary of the original coming out this year, right?
Is it 1973?
2023, yeah.
Yeah.
50th anniversary of the original's coming out. I'll probably buy that when it comes out.
Sure you will.
Listen, man, I guess I didn't mention this on the podcast. I've been kind of on a Blu-ray kick lately because I've been enjoying.
They're so expensive.
They're expensive, but I have some extra income laying around, so I'm like, you know what? These movies are sick.
See, my thing with Blu-rays, right?
Yeah.
Is they as a medium are getting older. Like, I don't know when the first Blu-ray came out, but it was probably in the noughties, right?
Oh, probably because the PlayStation 3 had Blu-ray player.
Right. Which, do you know when that came out?
Like 2014. No,
Yeah,
2013,
that wouldn't be the noughties, though.
2012.
But still, like, Blu-ray is probably 2000 to 2010s. And I just want them to update the format so I don't, like, invest a lot of money into, like, Blu-ray format.
That's fair.
And then have it change. Because, like, we're at that point where I don't know what would be next.
Yeah, I don't really know either.
I guess maybe SD cards.
Oh, maybe. That'd be wild.
I mean, it makes sense, though.
It does.
You can make a cheap SD card that holds, like, 234 gigabytes. But I do think they're important because I don't know if I've had this talk with you, but, like, we buy a lot of movies digitally here.
Yeah, because it's
And
easier.
That's easier for us. However, you don't really own those movies.
Yeah.
And, streaming platforms and stuff can essentially remove the licensing for them whenever they want. So then it's removed from your library even though you purchased it. Or they could change scenes in it, which is even weirder.
That is really strange. That one actually, like, is weird to me.
And I think there's not just issues of, like, ownership, but issues of lost media that happen when that happens. So I think buying Blu-rays is important. I just don't want to invest the money in that medium.
I'm willing to invest the money on movies
and
I
it works
like.
out.
On movies I enjoy. To spoil what I bought, I got the steel case from Mighty Bloody Valentine, which I already talked about.
You didn't show me a picture of it.
Oh, I didn't. You're right. I'll pull it up. I bought Terrifier on Blu-ray because that's the first movie we ever did for the podcast, and I was like, I have to own that.
You bought Terrifier 2, right?
I also bought Terrifier 2 for when we do that.
Which we could stream, though.
We could, but I want to own it.
I know, that's fine, too.
Splinter, I got that because I think that movie is so cool. Let's see. I think that's it. I already own Blood Quantum on Blu-ray.
You bought Blood Quantum, yeah.
I've had that for a while.
Are you going to buy Blood Rage? Blu-ray. I don't know if you can find Blood Rage
I
on
don't
Blu-ray.
want to own Blood Rage on Blu-ray. People will think I'm a fucking weirdo.
No, see, the benefit of owning Blu-ray movies, and maybe we'll do something with this eventually, extra content.
Oh, yeah. I think that'd be really fun.
I'm not sure what we'll do with Blu-rays. I assume we'll do something eventually when we want to rewatch movies. We'll kind of figure that out.
Yeah. Bro, look
That's
at
a
the
future
fucking
thing.
steel case on that. That is so goddamn cool.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
It's awesome. And it has all the extras. So it has, like, the director commentary. It has interviews with the actors. It has the 3 minutes of extra cut footage. So, yeah, that'll be really, really cool. I want to watch the extra cut footage.
Yeah, it's the original one.
It's the 81. I almost bought 3D because we talked about maybe watching it, but
We'll watch My Bloody Valentine's 3D at some point. Eventually, we're gonna do like probably a remake category or something.
Yeah, because there's a lot of movies that we haven't really touched the remakes yet. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Some remakes are good, some are bad. A
Yeah.
lot are bad, but some of them are they're still worth watching, even if they're bad.
Yeah.
I just don't know when to put them in.
Oh, I don't know if I said this. I bought Terrifier 2, but I bought the collector's edition of it, so it has all the extra shit too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because we can stream it on Screambox. It's on there.
I know, but you know.
If we got the extras.
Yeah, man.
See, that's the thing, though. Do we react to the extras on the podcast because we're just doing an episode viewing, or do we wait until we do a rewatch for it?
Good question.
We'll figure that out eventually.
We'll talk about it later. Behind the scenes stuff.
This has been a long intro, Bob.
Yeah, we're at about 25 minutes.
Yeah, and we haven't even chose the episode.
Nope. Let's see. Like I was saying, I had a good time with Demons. I've been having a really good time with that. But we're down to one spot in Demons, right?
Yes, it is spot number 3.
And then we have one spot in Mockumentary.
Spot number 2.
And then for Parasites, we have 2 spots.
Yes, it's spot 1 and 3.
Good question. You want me to pick Mockumentary. I know you do. Because you like the category.
I like the category.
I also like the category, but I've had a horrible experience.
See,
both times.
My thing with like pseudo documentaries as a category is that it's my category, so I'm not necessarily like proud, but I'm excited to see your reactions to those films.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like impatient about it. Although I picked all the films on here, it's just that
Yeah.
you know.
Let's. You know what? I'm breaking my streak. We haven't done the same category 2 weeks in a row. I want to watch another demon movie.
Okay.
I want to see what you have in store because I have had a. I was super worried when we did this when we set up this board because I don't like parasites. I know I don't like demons, but we haven't watched a demon movie that is scary in the way that I expect it to be scary.
Fair
the
enough.
closest we had was Emily Rose, but I don't think that movie is very scary. It just has a lot of the elements that I expected.
In my defense, I think that's kind of because my goal with picking movies is to get a broad view of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
So I
yeah.
there's other films that are like Emily Rose where they debate the topic of exorcisms.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Exorcism is a very good example of that style, but I didn't put it on here because I was like, that's too similar.
All right. Well, what is the last movie in Demons, Benjamin?
The last movie in Demons is The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Oh, no, okay. Oh,
Never heard of it?
No, I don't know what this is. I've
Okay.
literally never heard of it.
You ready for the description?
Oh, wait, hold on. I was worried that it was going to be Hereditary for a second. Just
No.
putting that out there.
Oh, yeah. Bob got Hereditary spoiled for him.
Oh,
'cause
mega
he's
spoiled.
a bastard, man.
Mega spoiled. Had no idea. I was on Twitter again.
Yeah, so I told Bob he should get off horror Twitter. And he
No.
was like,
Listen, I showed you the tweet. That straight up wasn't my fault.
yes, it was, Bob. Okay, I'm putting this out here. I have, like, an alarm for spoilers. When I can get, like, a little peek, and then my brain goes, oh, that's a spoiler for something. Don't look. Right? Bob doesn't have that.
I don't have any
So
description.
he saw a spoiler for it, like, that said what happens in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot. We can still watch the movie.
Yeah.
I just probably won't go on the podcast for a long, long time because of this.
Damn it. I
You're
want to
a
watch
bastard, man.
it. It's a cool movie, apparently.
It's
I've heard
very,
good.
very
I've heard
good.
it's very good.
Even with the spoiler, you're still going to shit your pants.
Oh, fuck.
But how do I put this? Like, he read kind of the big, it's not a spoil, like, it's not a jump scare, but he read the big, like, surprise in the film.
Yeah.
He went, oh, what is this from? And then scrolled down and read. Now, what he should have done is he just went, oh, this sounds like a movie, and then didn't look.
No. It didn't sound like a movie. It sounded like it happened to the person tweeting about it, and I went, that's crazy.
Bob, the things described in that tweet do not happen to real people. You should have known.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm
back
just
to
saying,
the movie.
just for future reference.
Well, I was worried because
Because you're not going to get off Twitter, so you might as well try and, like, control yourself.
You know what? Okay.
I think
Anyway,
that's fair.
back to The Taking of Deborah Logan. First of all, the name is very cool.
Oh, yeah, it's such a cool name.
It's a very cool name. This sounds like the scariest movie that we've seen in this category so far. I'm just saying. I don't know why The Taking of is scary to me.
No.
Oh, God damn it.
Do you want me to be honest with you, Bob?
Yeah.
This is probably the scariest movie in this category.
Fuck.
Which
I like
glad
that we're
you waited
starting
for
with it.
last.
Awesome. All right, let's go, Benjamin.
Especially after you're like, I like this category. It wasn't scary.
Yeah, I've been enjoying myself.
I mean, to be honest, The Exorcist could have been scary.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it wasn't for you. But it was originally the first time you watched it.
I
So,
was 7 years old.
all right, so the description. A woman suffering from Alzheimer's disease agrees to be part of a documentary on her condition.
Whoa. Okay. That's not what I expected.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, this would be cool.
Ready?
Is
Wh-
it? Oh,
What's wrong, Bob?
is this the movie with the mirror that I saw the spoiler for? You know what I'm talking about? Where the dude's looking in the mirror and there's an old lady on the ceiling and she's crawling around. You know the video I showed you that I saw
No.
on Twitter? Okay.
No.
Ugh.
All right.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
it's a
I'm
2014
scared.
film.
Okay, it's fairly new. That's nice.
It's an hour and 30 minutes long.
Bog standard.
It's rated R.
Thank God.
Bob's really afraid of PG-13
I
movies.
am. I'm so scarred.
They're his bane.
They are.
All right. IMDb score 6.0 out of 10.
Okay.
Tomato meter 91.
Yo.
And the audience score of 49.
Oh.
Well, you can see how it balances though, right?
Yeah.
In the IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's kind of like why I like the Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah.
Is because it divides them so you get to see where they...
Yeah, where they
Kinda
clash.
connect.
This is cool. I'm
So,
excited.
That tells me we're going to like this movie.
Probably.
Or,
I'm probably going to like this movie.
let me rephrase that. I like this movie. Bob is, you know, but the audience score's pretty low.
Yeah,
I mean, that's below middle.
Yeah, that's really low considering how high the tomato meter and the IMDb score is.
I mean, IMDb score's fairly bog standard, but the
Well, yeah.
tomato,
But I mean,
91%
that's what I'm saying. That's
is
nuts.
insane.
That is actually crazy.
Anything in the 90s,
Oh yeah, I think anything 80 plus is like holy shit.
but 90s is near perfect because people
Yeah.
disagree, you know?
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
It has 1 win for awards and 7 nominations,
Okay.
and the win was for the iHorror Award to Adam Robitel for Best Direct Release Film.
Okay, so this was direct
Direct video.
to video. Okay.
So, people to look out for. Jill Larson as Deborah Logan. She played the manacled woman in Shutter Island.
I have not seen that, but I've heard that
I know.
movie's fucking scary.
But kind of like an extra. But yeah, that movie's, you wouldn't like it.
I've heard that's a very scary movie.
That's not a high bar, though.
You know what? It's a very low bar, but most things exceed it.
Anne Ramsey as Sarah Logan. You might have seen her as Lisa Stemple from Mad About You.
I haven't
which
seen
was
that, but
a
I've heard
television show.
I've heard
that
that's good.
it ran from 1992 to 2019.
Damn, that's a long time.
Yeah. Michelle Ang as Mia Medina. She's played Alex from Fear the Walking Dead and Dee Dee in For Izzy.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched Fear the Walking Dead, but I generally know about it.
Yeah. And then Ryan Cutrona as Harris. So he also played Gene Hofstadt from Mad Men.
I haven't seen Mad Men either, but I've heard Mad Men's very
That's
good.
Very good. All right, so the director is Adam Robitel. He's also directed Escape Room and Insidious: The Last Key, which is the last Insidious movie, by the way.
I don't know what's Insidious. You know how I feel about that.
It's PG-13.
I know.
Although he directed both of those movies after this one.
Oh, okay.
So, just like a heads up, different directing style.
Interesting.
He was still working on. The writings are Adam Robitel, so the director, and Gavin Heffernan. Heffernan also wrote Paranormal Activity,
Oh, okay.
The Ghost Dimension. Not the original one.
Oh,
One of the sequels.
there are a bunch of those.
I can't tell you which one that is,
I have no idea.
but it was from 2015. So
oh, damn.
figure that out from that number. Budget is estimated at 1.5 million, so pretty
solid.
low.
I mean, that's more than most of the movies we fucking watch.
And the box office, because again, remember this is kind of like a direct release film.
Yeah.
Is only $407,782.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, direct-to-video doesn't really make that much money.
When this film came out, I heard a lot about it, so
Oh,
it
really?
was doing pretty good on streaming. I
I
was
assume it probably
surprised you
did good on
hadn't heard
Shudder.
of this film. I don't think it's on Shudder. Is it?
I don't know.
I thought it was
just saying,
on Netflix.
Oh, that would okay. Yeah, in
I don't know.
2014, Netflix would have been the
Shudder
place to
wasn't
be.
a thing yet, I don't think.
I have no idea, man.
But I heard stuff about it when it came out, and I've heard stuff about it since. I was just surprised you hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, the name. So I've heard the name Deborah Logan sounds familiar, but that just might be. I might just know someone with that name.
It just sounds like a normal name.
Yeah, but the Taking of was unfamiliar.
There's something about Deborah Logan that just sounds super, not generic, but common.
Yeah, it feels like
you
if
heard
I
it?
walk up to someone on the street and their name was Deborah Logan, I would not question it. I would go, okay, that's your name.
I've heard that name before.
Exactly. Like it seems fairly normal.
Country of origin, United States. It's also known as The Taking. That's the alternative title.
Okay.
Taglines.
Ooh.
Evil lives within you.
Oh no. God
Right.
damn it. God damn it, Benjamin.
So I don't have any post-discussion facts. I just got normal facts
Okay.
right now. But the film is the feature film directorial debut of Adam Robitel.
Oh, okay.
So
First
once
thing he
again, figuring out his style. The film released via electronic sell-through on October 21st, 2014, and was followed by a release on video on demand and DVD on November 4th, 2014.
Okay. I wonder if I can find this on Blu-ray.
You probably definitely can. You can find
Probably.
everything on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
to
most.
be
I mean,
honest.
I just bought a movie from the 80s on Blu-ray. I think I'll find something.
But that's more pop.
I mean, that's fair.
Even people fucking do like illegal Blu-ray movies too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just Blu-ray is technically just a format.
Yeah.
Now it's a format owned by Sony, but it's
Mhm.
still a format.
Yeah.
That's all I got on this film. So
Can you tell that I'm stressed?
when you do the
I'm
thing,
I'm stressed out again. Like this is the first movie in a while that I've been stressed about, you know?
Yeah.
Which is exciting because I not to say I have not been scared because I have been scared. If you listen to Emily Rose, there's some moments where I was shitting my pants.
yeah, for how unscary he thought Emily Rose was overall.
Yeah.
There were some points during the beginning
I was absolutely
and towards the end.
Ugh.
The exorcism scene
I wasn't
is
even
intense,
scared for that, but
it's intense.
It's cool. It's cool. I hope we get some more of that. That's what I want. But I guess we're gonna go watch this movie. We'll see you in a bit.
See ya.
Bye. Hi, everybody.
Bob really loved that movie.
Welcome back to this. Listen, okay. I've been holding it in this whole time. What the fuck, man? Like, come on. You really thought that was a good idea?
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong? That is the worst. I think that is the worst movie experience I've had on the show.
Really?
Not because it's a bad movie. Oh my
let's
god.
not get that straight. Bob was just scared.
What in the goddamn?
Really? That's worse than like Terrifier or something?
Oh yeah. Way worse.
Was it worse than The Strangers, even though you don't remember that?
Maybe. I don't remember. It might be.
So, I guess, did you think it was scary, Bob?
Yeah. Very. Extremely, actually.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Scariest shit I've ever seen.
Do you think it was very different from the other kind of possession movies we watched?
Yeah, man. It was real different.
Okay,
It was... I don't even want to talk about it.
Do you stand by
Like,
your...
I'm so, like... I'm so emotionally demolished by this movie.
I walked away for, like, a couple minutes after the movie ended, and I came back, and he was just staring at the screen. He hadn't moved.
No, I can't, man. It doesn't help that I drank that beer.
Bob's just a little emotionally
I'm so
drained.
defeated by this fucking film.
He was just on edge most of it, so...
I'm so tired now.
All right, well, I mean, do we have any no spoiler stuff?
Fuck, don't watch this movie.
Okay.
Don't watch it. It's a terrible time.
It's actually not that bad.
No, Benjamin.
It's not that bad.
I spent most of this movie hands in the air, like crying basically. I didn't cry. I almost cried. This movie almost made me cry.
You almost threw up too.
I did. Well, that was fucking foul, and you know what I'm talking about.
I didn't think
Like-
it was that bad. Why?
Well,
Don't look at me like that.
I don't want to talk about it because we're not in the spoiler section yet. I'm gonna be real. I didn't. So I knew it was gonna be a possession movie going in because that's the
Yeah.
category it's under.
You know it's going to involve Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's because
And
of that.
obviously old ladies, although that seemed to surprise you.
Well, no. No. I expected her to be older. She was younger than I expected.
Yeah.
Because I assume she's probably in her 50s or 60s, right? I'm trying to do the math, but I can't off the top of my head. Because she would have had to have been in her.
She's in her 60s, I'd guess.
Yeah, because
I just did the math. It was
Okay,
about
cool.
60.
So yeah, 50s or 60s, right? I expected someone
No,
older.
it's 60s or 70s, but it's probably 60s.
But I expected someone older. That was the thing that surprised me
Mhm.
about it. I knew there was gonna be an older woman, but I did not know how old she would be, and she was younger than I thought.
Fair enough.
I expected someone a lot older. This movie really flips it on its head. Because, so I'm going in, I'm like, demons, old lady. Okay, it's like a house possession movie. Old lady's going to be possessed. It's going to be creepy, scary.
Keep in mind, we're still in the no spoiler section.
Yeah, this is, I'm giving you what I think the movie is about.
Yeah.
Kinda. It was that for a minute, and then it really went off the rails and scared the piss out of me. Because that was the part that scared me, to be honest, was the off the rails parts. After we got past all that.
The old lady stuff.
Yeah, because that was fucking there's a twist in this movie that I did not see coming, and it was fucking freaky.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
All
I'm
right.
done.
What I will say is this is a found footage movie. I don't know if we said that.
We didn't. We didn't.
did that.
And that was also something that surprised the piss out of me.
This is found footage, so if you like that style, it's not a pseudo documentary like we've been doing. It's
No.
like an actual found footage movie, and it almost seems reminiscent of something like Paranormal Activity,
Yeah.
stylistically. Because there's different found footage movies, but this one seems a lot like
Yeah, with like the set camera placements and stuff, and
around
like seeing,
the house, and
yeah.
then sometimes some cam stuff. A lot like Paranormal Activity. It makes sense that this guy went on
to direct. Which one was it?
Did he direct Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
Or was it Insidious? No, he did Insidious.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
writer worked on Paranormal Activity.
Also makes
That's
sense.
why.
It fits.
But you have to be prepared for that. So like if you like Paranormal Activity, this might be a good film for you. If you don't like that specific style of found footage or
And I
found
gotta be
footage
honest,
at all,
that is a qualm I have with this one. I didn't really like the found footage style.
I don't either.
I think this movie would have benefited from not being found footage.
Yes, it would have. However,
Like deeply.
what I will say, 1.5 million budget, they really couldn't have done anything else.
Yeah, you're right.
They had
That's fair.
no budget.
For
They-
no budget, holy shit.
For no budget, they stretched it out far in this
Mhm.
film. But at the end of the day, it feels like a cheap found footage film. That's why I'm saying it feels like the original Paranormal Activity. So
Yeah.
if you don't like that movie, I'm not necessarily going to recommend this one for you. However, if you like that movie and it makes you really scared, like it makes Bob really scared, probably works pretty well.
Yeah.
Also, again, it plays around with Alzheimer's and obviously to possession stuff because that's the category that it's in. So,
Yeah.
like, if you want to see those two things clash together,
It's interesting.
because it's interesting. That's why it went on this list, is because it's not a normal possession.
It's not at all. It's not even a demonic possession. in my opinion.
Yeah, so,
Very
those are
cool.
kind of like my check it out stuff. As always, you should go watch it before we get into the spoilers. But
If you want, I don't recommend it.
because it's scary or because it was bad?
It's scary.
Well, then that's a good recommendation, Bob. It's a horror podcast. People want to be scared.
I didn't like that part of the movie. I didn't like that I was scared, man.
Bob's just upset because he lured himself into a false sense of security. He was like, demon movies haven't been scary. This third movie's not going to be scary.
Oh, God.
That's what he tells himself. I talked to him about the podcast. He's like, yeah, if the category's not scary, the rest of the movies aren't going to be scary. And then he's like, if the first movie's scary, all of it's going to be scary.
Yeah, man. That's how.
That's not how this works.
It's simple statistics.
Simple statistics would tell you one of the movies has been scary. It's less likely for the other two to be that scary.
No.
All right. Well,
Oh,
are you
God.
ready to get into spoilers?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to do a quick breakdown here because
I don't.
there's not a lot happening.
No.
It's more of a reaction kind of film where, this camera crew goes into this house. This woman, Sarah, and her mom, Deborah,
Mm-hmm.
are living there. Sarah's taking care of her mom who has Alzheimer's.
Yep.
And
Not
this
Alzheimer's yet. They say it's like what CMI,
MCI, I think.
cognitive memory issues.
Oh, maybe it is CMI.
Basically, she has early signs of Alzheimer's
like
developing.
pre-stage, I
Yeah,
guess.
so it's like small stuff. It's
But-
nothing huge yet. Like she forgets some small things here and there. Like she'll leave stuff on the stove or stuff like that. Nothing super. what's what I'm looking
I don't
for?
think she's forgotten stuff yet so much as it's like, well, she does, but
Yeah.
it's mostly like she'll be doing something and then she'll forget what she's doing.
Yeah. So nothing like it's not severe yet.
Yeah,
Is
it's
what
like
I'm getting at.
pre or early stages of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But Sarah's looking after her because she's like, at this point, she needs help.
Yeah.
Like she accidentally almost burnt the house down when
Yeah,
she
by-
left the stove on.
Mm-hmm.
And this camera crew's coming in to make a documentary about Deborah, I guess for like educational reasons.
Yeah, I think Mia says this is part of her
School project.
her undergrad degree.
Yeah.
As I don't know what degree she's going for. I don't think she ever says
Probably
it.
medicine or something.
Yeah, but it's a documentary to display the effects of Alzheimer's not only on the patient but on the family around the patient.
Yeah, who's Sarah.
For educational purposes.
But the idea here is that like they're gonna get paid for it.
Mhm.
There's grant money, and also Mia's actually paying them
Yeah.
with money she has for it. And Sarah is basically has told her mom like, "Hey, we have to do this because Deborah wants to keep her house.
Yep.
They're behind on the payments, so yeah." Anyways, the beginning of the film really just focuses on Deborah showing more classic early Alzheimer's
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
And really what the film is it slowly, as the days go by, because we see a day count,
Mm-hmm.
her symptoms become less standard. I mean, I think the first, and like she becomes kind of violent and
Yeah.
angry. The first like sign that something's really wrong though is when Deborah starts hurting herself.
God, dude. Some of that is so gnarly.
Now there's some minor stuff like she climbs through a window that has some that she nailed down previously and then ripped up and it tears up her back.
Yeah.
Or like digging in the garden with her hands in the middle of
Yeah.
the night, which kind of muddies them but also like scrapes them up. But the real one is at one point she tears the skin on her neck off.
Oh, God.
Bob, were you expecting that to happen?
No, man. And I didn't realize how mutilated everyone was going to get.
Yeah.
Like, I expected some blood, but this movie's pretty gross in terms of, like, stuff we've seen.
Yeah, for their budget, they do a good job with it.
Because, like, and it looks good, and the thing is, it's, like, it's not over-the-top gross. It's just, what's what I'm looking for? It's not the amount of gross. It's how good the individual gross things look.
Yeah,
if that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
it's just they use the gore sparingly,
Mm-hmm.
and it's with a character we've established as like normal at first.
Yeah.
So when she gets bloodied, like when she rips her throat and stuff like that, it's really this juxtaposition between her normal self that we see at
Yeah.
the beginning, who's really put together,
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
at the end. I think the best sign of that is, and we're getting a little sidetracked from the summary, but at the beginning of the story, they show Deborah, and she's very put together. She's
Oh, very.
dressed,
Yeah.
very prim and proper. Her hair's done up.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice. It's dyed like orange. By like as the film progresses, her clothes become more like disheveled.
Yep.
She starts wearing like less layers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the big thing is her hair. I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh, God. That was the worst part.
She stops like dyeing it, and it also she does less like hair care stuff, so it becomes more stringy and thin looking.
And also starts receding to the back of her head.
Yeah. So yeah, she rips her throat out, and that's kind of like the really turning point for the signs of
Yeah.
something is not just Alzheimer's.
Yeah, because before this, it had been she misplaced things or she would, like, forget about stuff. It was fairly normal.
She also
fairly
maybe a
normal
little
stuff.
aggressive, but like
Yeah.
fairly normal. From there, it's a spiral, basically. It becomes less Alzheimer's and more possession.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, she goes to the hospital a couple times because they start to realize her Alzheimer's is progressing way faster than it should have.
Yeah.
Like, the first time they take her there, she's at a point that her doctor told Sarah she would only get at after like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is there's kind of this reveal that they don't think it's a possession at first. They think it's a weird Alzheimer's repressed memory.
Yeah.
But they think that Deborah is obsessed/possessed with this man. Do you remember his name?
I know his last name. His first name is Henry.
Yeah, it's Henry. Henri.
Yeah, and his last name is D. I don't know how to say it. Dehardines?
Dehardine?
Is that how you say it? It's French. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. But basically, it's this old client she used to have.
Mm-hmm.
She was a switchboard operator for the town.
Yep.
And I think he was a doctor or something.
He was a pediatrician.
But back like 30 years before this is set.
So like in the 80s.
The 80s, maybe. It's probably a little bit older, maybe the 70s.
Yeah.
Dehardine murdered 4 young girls.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bunch of ritual stuff. Basically, he was dying of Luke Scare's disease.
Yep.
And he became obsessed with this like Native American ritual involving snakes.
Yep.
That would essentially, if he killed 5 girls on their first
period and gave their blood as sacrifice to the demon, he would gain immortality.
Well, it's like a snake god or whatever.
Yeah.
He would essentially transcend his mortal coil.
Yep.
And become immortal. And at first, they obviously think Deborah's just obsessed with this guy.
Yeah.
At one point, she goes into the attic to her old switchboard. And she starts switching the same like code over and over again, which was the code for this guy.
Yep.
And they think she's obsessed with him because, well, he went missing.
Yeah.
And Deborah has this best friend, Harris, who lives next door, who's been iffy about the camera crew being there.
Yeah.
And they think that maybe Harris murdered, this guy Dehardine.
Mm-hmm.
Because he figured out
that he was the one killing these girls.
And so he murdered it, and then because Harris is best friends with Deborah, they covered it up together.
Yep.
Well, lo and behold, they figure out that, no, Deborah's not obsessed with Dehardine. She's being possessed by Dehardine.
Which was very interesting.
Very interesting. Did you pick up why she's been possessed by him?
Well, yeah, she was the last victim, and she killed him. And, well, the thing is, she has Alzheimer's, so it's easier for him to have possessed her, too.
Well, okay, so no. Basically, she wasn't the last victim.
She was supposed to be the last victim.
No.
Yeah, they straight up say it.
No, that's not what they say in the film.
What do they say
Deborah
then?
wasn't the last victim. Okay, so back in the 70s or 80s, whenever this was happening, Dehardine had killed four young girls,
and
right?
he needed one more.
He needed one more. He decided to go after Sarah, Deborah's daughter, who would have been like 13 at the time. Or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Sarah finds out, stabbed him in the neck with something.
The spade.
It's implied it might be the spade. We're not sure.
Well, that's what Harris says.
Oh, is it what Harris says?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said your mother's spade, your spade. That explains why she's obsessed with it, too.
But yeah, Deborah she kills Dehardine, or at least she wounds him by stabbing him in the neck, because then Harris says they buried her alive. So apparently Deborah went to Harris, who's like her best friend and neighbor, and was like, help me get rid of this body.
Mm-hmm.
And so they buried it in the yard of the house.
Yep, underneath the statue.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
I guess I misheard it.
Well, it wouldn't make sense for Deborah to be
No, yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense with everything else.
But, Deborah's possessed by Dehardine, and, long story short, when she's in the hospital, she abducts this young girl there who has leukemia. Mm-hmm. And after, 2 attempts, she ends up taking
it's 2.
The girl out into these mines where Dehardine had done the original ritual, and he needs to, finish it there. They eventually chase her down. There's, a scuffle. People get wounded.
People die.
A sheriff dies. And long story short, they manage to save the girl.
Yeah.
And they kind of, exorcise Dehardine by
burning
his body,
his
because
corpse,
they were able to find it. And wasn't in the yard where Deborah buried it, because she hid it in the house.
Yep, because she wanted to keep it safe because she's being possessed by the ghost of the dead man.
And that's really the end of the movie.
Well,
I mean, there's some wrap-up clips that shows that even though the Dehardine was exorcised out of Deborah, she's not okay.
No.
The Alzheimer's was still progressed.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't get better.
Yeah.
So she was already in late stage Alzheimer's because Dehardine was essentially pushing her farther.
Mm-hmm.
So her brain's ruined, and it just got progressively worse over the months after.
And they also find that she's not she's literally unfit to stand trial for the things that happened while she was possessed, because how
she's just mentally unfit.
Yeah, mentally unfit.
Alzheimer's has progressed so far.
Yeah.
The only other thing is the girl,
Kara,
is fine. She's fine.
Shut up, bro.
So that's kind of the summary.
Yeah.
I kind of thought of some discussion points while we were talking.
Okay.
working on stuff. First of all, when the switchboard explodes,
Oh my god, that scared the piss out of me.
did you see the face?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so there's like
That
it's not
happened a
even a
couple
half
times.
second. Was it a couple times?
Well, not this. It wasn't the same face, but something similar to that happened a couple
Was
times.
it later in the movie though?
When they burned the body the first time.
Well,
or
yeah,
tried
that's
to.
later in the movie.
Yeah,
There's nothing like that though,
it does the same thing.
does it?
Not the same thing, but it's a different face, but it's the same
It's
idea.
the guy in the window, right?
No.
No, it's just
When
a
it
flash.
actually explodes, there's a
Oh,
fucking
well.
like a very similar like red scary face that comes out of the fucking fire.
Yeah, it's a weird snake man face,
Yeah.
which is roughly speaking what we think the Desjardins looks like, kind of now.
Yeah, because assumedly almost completing the ritual gave him some sort of presence.
It vaguely looks like, so later in the movie in the caves, Deborah's eating the girl's head, and she looks like a snake, where she unhinges
her
her
jaw, dude. It's fucking scary.
It's kind of what the face looks like.
Kinda, yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to mention that if you hadn't seen it, because it's this idea that Desjardins there as like a presence,
Yeah.
and there's kind of that word throughout
Implication
the movie.
yeah, like in the paintings that Deborah makes.
Yeah, she's an artist, and well, she's not like all the way there because of the Alzheimer's, and also because there's this presence that's becoming more and more strong as her Alzheimer's kind of locks her away in her mind,
Yeah.
and the presence does the same. She's still able to, like, how should I say, escape a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, most of Deborah's creepy stuff throughout the movie is actually her, like, calling for help.
Yeah, it's so like it's incredibly morbid and sad.
Yeah. So, like, she's making these paintings, and as she keeps making these paintings, a figure appears in the background and gets closer and closer to this window.
Yeah, of a specific window of the house.
Well, I think it's the window to her mind. Like, it's getting closer and closer to taking control.
Well, the big thing is also she nails that same window shut
Well, I think it's
in an attempt to keep him out.
keep him out, like,
yeah,
metaphorically.
physically. Yeah,
It's also the window outside that overlooks, I think, where they buried
where
his body.
you can see the statue from that window where the body's buried.
Or all her stuff freaking out about the spade is because she's trying to dig up the body so she can get rid of it.
Yep, but it doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Like, all her, or at one point she's like mumbling into this mirror and she's like, leave her alone and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's basically all her really weird, creepy stuff is Deborah trying to, like,
trying to fight back.
fight back. I just think it's well written.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, it's not just creepiness for creepy's sake. It's very sad though.
It's this. Here's my thing with this movie. Now that we're in the spoiler section and we're done with like the summary, it's a very good movie.
You
I
didn't-
think.
Yeah.
No, like genuinely, I think it's a very well made movie.
Yeah.
The writing is good. I think the actors are. Whoever played
my
Deborah
God.
is fucking insane.
The woman who plays Deborah Logan, and
Is-
it's Jill Larson.
Oh my god, her performance is incredible.
She does a great job, and I couldn't find like any other really, really big thing she was in except
Dude.
for Shutter Island, but I think it's a small role. But in this, she does so good.
It is amazing.
And she had to be willing to do some weird stuff. Like,
Yeah.
she's naked for part of it, but also just like acting completely crazed and stuff.
And she's so good at switching at a moment's notice. She'll go
Yeah.
from fucking batshit insane and trying to kill people to calm. It's like serene and like almost sterile.
Oh yeah, just staring at
It's
nothing.
crazy. It's awesome.
Or Bob, she just menaced Bob a lot. Like, she'd stare
Yeah.
at someone and Bob would get freaked out.
Yeah, listen, I haven't talked about it on the podcast. I have a real fear of old people.
Bob's afraid of a lot of things.
I'm afraid of a lot of stuff. But
I
like,
think it's just worth mentioning. She does a really good job.
yeah, her acting is phenomenal in this. I think all the actors are okay. Like, they're fine.
No one else is very much to write home about except maybe Harris.
Maybe Harris.
I think Harris does a very good
I
job.
think I agree.
I was gonna ask, what do you think about that character?
So, okay.
Start me with your initial thoughts and then get to the end.
Harris as a character is fine. I like him. What is it with this? I think he makes sense to exist in setting, right?
Yeah.
And I think he helps move the plot along by being the dichotomy of everyone else in the film. Everyone else in the movie is at this point, or later in the movie at least, is convinced like, oh, it's something spooky's going on. So much so that a cameraman literally leaves because he's too scared. He's
Bob
like,
the
I'm out.
cameraman.
He's like, I can't do this. Harris is always like, no, Deborah's fine. She just has Alzheimer's. She needs help.
Well, he's
Not that she's fine, but like he is
he's not,
convinced
like,
that there's a mortal, like normal scientific explanation for this thing.
It's not even that. He's more like, his point is less that she's fine. It's more along the lines of, I don't want a camera crew here taking advantage of her. She's only gotten bad when they got here.
Yeah.
You need to stop.
It's very I don't want to say he's an antagonistic force, but he's not the antagonist of the film.
Maybe.
Right? He's kind of, I'm trying to think of the how to explain this, because at first I kind of didn't like him because I was like, he's kind of just being, well, at first he was fine, and then he kind of started fighting the camera crew, and I was like, that's kind of stupid because of the information that we have that he doesn't. doesn't, right? And I'm trying to sympathize with the character and be like, well, he doesn't know what's going on like the rest of them do because he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also just like, come on. Like, this lady is an absolute fucking menace. You cannot tell the camera crew to leave. They're the ones trying to figure this shit out and fix it. But he doesn't know that. So I don't want to shit on the character for knowledge that he doesn't have because it makes sense and it's good. And I also think the fact that, like, the scene in the hospital, I think is amazing, personally. Like, that was really cool. Like, all that stuff. Him going to Deborah and then the cut for what happens to him in the hospital and then the cut to, what is Deborah's daughter's name? Sarah in the hospital with him. Lying to the doctor saying, he's my dad.
Fair enough.
Trying to get to talk to him. I like all that stuff. It's very hard for me to sympathize with the character.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
Right. Do you want me to give you my take?
Sure.
All right. So I think you say he's an antagonistic force.
Yeah.
I would say yes in the sense that he's acting against the narrative plot, but not antagonistic as a bad force. In fact,
yeah.
I would argue that Harris is the only one who is really looking out for Deborah's well-being above everything because her daughter cares.
Yeah.
But her daughter is more stressed out because she feels responsible, both because it's her mom, but also because there's a mortgage on the house that they have to pay.
Yeah.
Harris cares because this is his best friend for over 30 years.
Yeah.
They be killing together. And, you know, like, he just is worried about her. Like, it's even established very on in the film. Like, he comes out and helps her most days.
Yeah,
like,
he's
doing
always around
yard work
on
and
the
stuff
property, yeah.
because he knows there's something wrong, but it's his friend. You know, the first time we see him, like, being an antagonistic force is he pulls Sarah aside, and he goes, hey, I don't want these cameramen around here.
Yeah.
They're just exploiting her, and, you know, they're making it worse. And you know what? Completely fair.
I mean, I totally see where it's coming from.
You know what had happened since the camera crew got there? Her condition got
Way
2 years worse.
Way worse.
And they exploited her. We talked about this during the film. But the
yeah.
camera crew, super duper unethical. They're recording things they shouldn't.
Really shitty.
They're like sneaking up on conversations they shouldn't be recording.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not supposed to see this because this is just crime scene footage, but it's still like super unethical. They're exploiting her, which was like, that was the one thing Deborah didn't want.
Yeah.
And the only person who seems to care about that is Harris. I mean, even the daughter's she doesn't listen to him. She's just like, I need the money. We need the money. We have to do this. They're helping.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the camera crew isn't helping Deborah.
No.
They're helping Sarah. I mean, Sarah feels with the camera crew because the camera crew's making her feel better about the whole situation. It goes to the point where Harris is even like, I will sell my things. Like, he has a tractor and he's a car, and he's like, I'll sell those things to help pay for the house, which he doesn't have to do because he's just like that uncomfortable with them being there.
Okay.
And
counterpoint. Oh, actually, finish your statement, then I'll have a counterpoint.
I'm not done yet. But
okay.
I'll do one more thing before you do your counterpoint. I think partially, like, the reason you empathize with the camera crew is because the camera crew's also the outsider coming into this situation. And
I see.
You immediately empathize with the person that's the most familiar.
Yeah, that explains why I like Luis so much.
And so, like, the camera crew's coming into this situation. They have no emotional depth. They don't care. This is a random stranger that's going crazy.
Yeah.
You don't care. So you're the camera crew.
I often threaten to punch Deborah in the face.
Yeah. So it's hard to look at the camera crew that you identify with as, like, bad people when you would do the exact same things in that situation. In fact, I'm gonna be honest, Bob, you were a lot more violent in your suggestions than the camera crew actually is.
I was telling the cops to shoot her. I was like, just fucking blow this lady away.
All right, what was your counterpoint?
While I agree with you with Harris, he's the only one that really gives a crap about her condition and her state of mind and stuff. Do you think he's willing to sell his things not because he wants to help keep the house for Deborah's sake, but for his own sake, because he knows there's a corpse buried in the backyard, and if that comes back to either of them, they're doomed?
Oh no, I think that's irrelevant.
Really?
Yeah, both him and Deborah are old.
Yeah.
Like, bare minimum, late 60s. I'd guess probably in their 70s. He's probably a little bit older.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit older.
He does.
They committed this crime 30 years ago. Maybe that would be valid if they did it 10 years ago, maybe 15. It's 30. They go to prison. They're only going to prison for a couple of years. Like,
interesting.
Not that bad. Additionally, I'd like to point out, Deborah murdered him.
That's true.
Even if they did maybe bury him alive, he's less culpable.
Fair.
I guess is my point. He just helped hide this crime. But the thing that really tells me that, like, his concern is Deborah and not, like, hiding this body is all the assisted suicide stuff. So we mentioned the scene in the hospital. Basically, Deborah asks him to kill her.
Yeah, he visits her in the hospital.
This
he
is
leans
when
over.
she's, like, almost all the way gone.
Oh yeah.
It's the last time she's in the hospital, right before she abducts the kid for the second time. Which is the last time. And he'd, like, has to argue, sure. She's like, yeah. And he grabs a pillow and starts smothering her.
Smothering her, yeah.
And a TV flies off and hits him in the back. And maybe kills him. It's
yeah,
unclear.
we don't know what happens to him after that.
But more than that, previously in the movie, probably like a couple days or weeks earlier, he had come to the house like really, really drunk with a shotgun shooting stuff. My close reading of this situation is that he and Deborah were kind of aware that something funky was happening with, what's the guy's name?
DeHardines?
DeHardine.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were aware something was going wrong.
Interesting.
Which, besides the fact that they like were exploiting her,
Mm-hmm.
might be why he didn't want the camera crew there, because it was making it worse.
Yeah.
Because we keep seeing throughout the movie that him, Harris, and Deborah would go places and talk by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it would make sense that, Deborah's more lucid and in control when she's around, like, her best friend.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
My reading of the film is that he came to the house with a shotgun, intent to kill her, and he was really drunk because, like,
That's
he knew he had
tough.
to do it.
Yeah.
So he got really drunk because he was, like, upset. And then...
She's not there. She's at the hospital, right?
Well, she wasn't there yet, I don't think.
I think she was still in the hospital.
Maybe. But point being, I think he was really drunk and he kind of forgot.
Yeah.
Because I think he knew he had to do it, and he eventually comes to the hospital. And I think that's why he was checking up on her in the hospital, is because I bet sometime in the film that we didn't get to see. Because even when Deborah's more lucid, she knew something was, like, taking her over. We see the figure.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bet Deborah asked him, hey, like, I don't want to ask you to do this, but if I get more and more gone, you take care of me.
Interesting. I hadn't really considered that.
Anything else on Harris?
No.
All right. Last point I want to talk about, because I didn't really have notes for this, but...
Yeah. I don't really know how much I want to talk about this film. I mostly want to talk about other stuff other than the plot. Because, like, we can unpack this for a while. It's not... I wouldn't say it's, like, super
it's a straightforward film.
It's very straightforward, but there's stylistic stuff that I really want to discuss.
Yeah. I guess the last thing involving the film, the ending with the girl.
Fuck off.
Did you
Straight
get
up.
that?
Yeah. Fuck
What?
you, camera crew. Fuck you, writer, director, whoever.
Okay, so...
Because,
Bob-
like, I was like, by the time... First of all, I was like, oh my god, are we going to get a horror movie with a happy ending? Fuck no.
Oh, Deborah's gone.
Well, not even that. Just, like, it has been resolved. You know what I mean? And there's no more bullshit.
They burnt the body. It's implied that Dehardine's, like, dead.
That he has been exorcised and his soul or whatever has been sent to the afterlife, and he's been...
And then it shows you clips of the girl who had leukemia.
And
And they're like, but she's fully recovered now months later. A miraculous recovery that no one thought was possible.
Yep.
And she's getting an interview, and the guy's like, what do you want to do when you're older? She says, I don't know. And he's like, do you have any plans? She's like, it's a secret. And then she looks
Yep.
at the camera and smiles. Bob, what does that mean?
Well, implying that DeHardine was exorcised from Deborah and entered the weak Kara because she has leukemia. And one of the things that an anthropologist that they talked to earlier in the film said was, when someone is sick and or weak
Or young.
or
old.
young or old or what was the other one?
It's infirm. That's sick or weak.
infirm. Yeah, they're more susceptible to possession from spirits.
Yeah. Also, Deborah had her, like, head half in her mouth.
Yeah, so implying that Kara now has the spirit of DeHardine's within her and is going to try and complete the ritual later.
Well, yeah. Did you get the cameraman asked her, what are you going to do when you get older?
Yeah.
She says, I don't know, because DeHardine's plan is, like,
Yeah, when she
not
gets her
to get
first
old.
period, yeah.
Well, it's not even that. His plan is to be immortal.
Yeah.
So he's never going to get old. And then what are you going to do? It's a secret. That's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of the discussion points. I guess we can get into style.
Oh my god.
I didn't like the found footage style.
Me either. It sucks. And it makes me so mad because this is such a cool movie otherwise.
It's not bad.
No, see, I am on the other... I think it's bad.
No, like, it's not bad. Like, the film's okay.
It's watchable.
Like, it doesn't ruin it, but the film could have been so much better.
Yeah, I
if
completely
it wasn't
agree.
a
Because,
found
like,
footage film.
the thing is, this movie is so cool because it takes you on a journey that I was not expecting. It surprised the shit out of me with all the snake stuff, you know what I mean? And all the stuff with DeHardine. Like, you don't really unpack that until later in the film.
If this had just been, like, a film about Sarah, like going home to look after her mom or something,
Yeah,
or maybe, like, a nurse called in
maybe.
to help,
I-
it would have been so much better.
Yeah,
because
I
it
don't...
wouldn't-
The camera crew doesn't really add much to the movie either. Like, the only thing they're there for is to be scared.
Well, they're there to be an outsider. That's why I said you could have a nurse.
Yeah.
But just the found footage style, I think it could have worked better as a narrative because a lot of it is, narratively speaking, I don't know, deeper.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think, like, the fact that it's found footage led them to do some really fucking shitty tropes with the cameras. And it pissed me off.
Like what?
The fucking constant flickering of the lights and the fucking constant hard cuts on the cameras.
Oh, and it makes the sound that scares you?
No, it's not even that. It's cheap.
It feels cheap.
It feels cheap as shit. And the fact that, like, that is my only complaint is that the found footage style. Like, it does not lend itself to this film very well, and I think it
No.
detracts from the narrative.
It's a great concept for a movie of this idea of, mental illness and that relation to possession. But not
I
like
agree.
not playing with it in the same way that Emily Rose plays with it, but playing with it in the idea that like they can be intermingled.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool. That's why I chose this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool concept. It just, there's something lost with being a found footage film because I am okay with found footage films as like a concept.
I think this is the first one I've ever seen, by the way.
No, we've watched a bunch on this. We've watched a lot of found footage on this podcast, Bob.
What are there?
Wreck,
Oh, I guess Wreck, yeah.
Wreck 2,
Those are good movies.
every film in my category,
Though I wouldn't consider those found footage.
those are found footage.
I
I like to make the distinction. I said this on the first episode, but we've watched a lot of found footage on this podcast.
I guess this is the first one that's really rubbed me the wrong way then.
Yeah, because I like to make the point of found footage is like a style, and it's a style that can work really well if it's used properly. But at the same time, it's a style that has a benefit of being very, very cheap. So I think this film used it because they couldn't have made this film as like a regular film.
Which
with
sucks.
their budget. Which sucks. And so that's why I'm giving them pass for doing it.
Yeah.
However, I think this is a good demonstration of why found footage can be bad. Because
Yeah.
you can make a film for really cheap that shouldn't be a found footage film, but you do it anyways. And it can really ruin what could be an otherwise very great plot. And that's the problem with a lot of found footage, is most of it tends to not be good.
I think that this movie the writing is phenomenal, in my opinion. Because, like, the setup for the movie,
Some of the dialogue's not great, but
Some of the
it's
dialogue-
okay.
but see, I think some of the dialogue's not great, but it's the dialogue with the fucking camera crew.
It is, actually.
I
Very
know,
much the
that's what
camera
I'm
crew.
saying. Like, if you remove the camera crew from this situation, and I think I agree with you, if it was just Sarah coming home to take care of her mother, or if it was an at-home nurse or something, it adds so much more of a layer of connection between the person that we're following and Deborah.
Yeah.
Because the camera crew, they don't give a shit about Deborah, really. They're just there to be scared. Their dialogue is middling at best. They don't add a lot to the movie, and I just think
You're just upset that it was found footage when it could have been something else.
yes, because perceiving it, I can see that it could be so much better
Yeah.
if it were shot in a different way. Like, I'm talking even just like simple, like not even just steady cam shots, man. Just something. Like, give me anything other than the
Just
found
making
footage
it
style.
a normal film.
Just make it a normal movie. And if they could have done that, I think this would have honestly knocked it out of the park for me.
I mean, yeah, it's, again, I give them a pass because I think they had to, but it's sad to look at the film and be like, what could it have been?
Because the twist from like her slow descension into possession is really, really good.
And sad.
And sad. And if this movie had been taken away from the found footage, it is more of like The Exorcist, a very somber movie. This would be.
Yeah.
It could really, really, really be good.
I mean, I think the only benefit besides like budgetary stuff that the found footage does well is it can help with some jump scare stuff.
Yeah, that
which
is
can
fair.
get frustrating because it's a very cheap sometimes.
Well, that's what I got sick of is the fucking the cut to static in the dark and then cut to face.
But
It's like,
sometimes
ugh.
just the ability to like cycle between cameras and then have
Mhm.
something change
Actually,
works well.
I did like the use of the security cameras. That was
Yeah.
cool. That's the good stuff. I'm not a big fan of the handheld stuff they did.
Like there's not them having to use found footage isn't a problem so much as the idea that this film feels like it was supposed to not be found footage,
Yeah.
and then they kind of forced it to be.
I think it's the fact that the style of the movie and the
Of the
actual
narrative.
are clashing really hard for me.
I kind of have a theory about why that might be.
Interesting.
So the director of this also wrote it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a second writer who also worked on Paranormal Activity, or he
Oh,
went on to work
yeah,
on Paranormal
that makes
Activity.
sense. Now that you mention it.
I think he went on to work on Paranormal Activity though after this film.
Yeah, because this came out in 2014. I think the Paranormal Activity movie came out in 2015.
Yeah, 2015.
So a year later.
Although who knows when they were doing production. But
yeah, sure.
my thought process here is that maybe the director, Mr. Adam Robitel, wrote this as like a normal movie script and then called this other guy on to help him make it into a found footage film. So parts where we feel like there's this clash, like the camera crew
Mm-hmm.
stuff with like the normal like narrative stuff, there might be that clash because they came from different perspectives.
Yeah.
Like one writer was in charge of like took the script and made it found footage,
Mm-hmm.
and it was originally not written that way.
Yeah.
Which would make sense to me because that's the director who,
Yeah, it makes me sad because
Bob's just upset.
I'm just upset because like this movie is very scary. First of all, I think fucking shitting. It's really, really scary. But also, it's just a really good movie otherwise.
Yeah.
in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Well, the idea is great. It's
The
just
idea is really
the
good.
execution is lacking.
Lacking. Yeah.
You glad it was on the podcast?
Yeah.
Kind of different.
It was different. I liked it. I probably would never watch it again.
Fair enough. Do you have anything else to talk about, or do you want to go into the rating?
I can talk about it in my rating. Well, in my explanation. So we'll go to the rating.
I guess before we do the rating, recommendations.
If you like found footage movies, I guess you could watch it.
I'd say if you like Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity, yeah.
Like
I've never
OG
seen those, so I don't
Paranormal
know. That's not for me, you know. I think if you want a wild possession movie, this is a really cool possession movie. Like it's a very unique possession movie because, like I said before, it's not a demon. It's a ghost or a spirit. It's not like the other two we watched. It's not explicitly demonic.
Yeah, it's not a ghost anymore. It's something.
It's something else.
Something else.
Which is cool, right? Like that's cool to me because it meant that we didn't have the
You don't necessarily know.
Yeah, it just meant that we didn't have the
Priest?
stigma of like priest
Yeah.
Catholicism. That wasn't a part of this movie really. There was a part where Sarah asked a priest to exorcise her mom, but the priest was like, "We don't fucking do that anymore."
It's unscientific.
Unscientific. So he was like, "Can't do it," which is cool. I like that they nodded at it, but I like that it was not a main plot point of the movie. Right? It's different. It's cool. If you want a scary old woman movie, fantastic. That is something that I am terrified of, and this movie does a really good job of making me scared.
Fair enough. Any other recommendations, Bob?
Not off the top of my head. I don't think I have any more.
So my recommendation, I guess, if you like found footage, this might be a film to check out. However, I would say specifically if you like the Paranormal Activity style of found footage, the early Paranormal Activities, because it's a very distinct like cheapness to it.
Yeah.
But also in the sense like this movie feels like a lot of the plot involves the found footage cameras.
Yeah.
Like if you remove the cameras, well, there's a narrative in the background of this one that Bob is, I think, disappointed didn't get fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what progresses the plot is the found footage cameras.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I enjoy their use of the actual security cameras in the house and stuff, but I think the handheld stuff is whatever.
I don't know. It feels stylistically a lot like the original Paranormal Activity. And, I mean, if you like that film, check this one out. If you're looking for a good found footage film, though, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this one. My other big recommendation, though, is if you want to look at a film that deals with, like, mental health, but also, like, some weird, like, supernatural forces involved with that, it's a good film for that. There's not really a lot in that vein.
Yeah.
And then the last one, and probably the biggest recommendation for this film, because it middles around a lot, old people. If you're afraid of old people,
Yeah.
if you think like old people like sundowning and doing creepy stuff in their houses is scary, check this one out because
She does a killer job, man. Her performance is like,
yeah, she does a great job. Like the
It's
one
amazing.
thing I can say about this film without like having any detractions for it is the actor for Deborah Logan
it's a masterclass.
she
dude.
does a phenomenal job.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Jill Larson just gives it her all.
Phenomenal.
So if you just want that, if old people doing scary stuff entertains you, go watch this film because that'll get you there.
Oh, yeah.
You can have problems with everything else, but you'll still enjoy your time watching it.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. Do you want to do ratings now? Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So here's my thing. I want to rate it higher than I'm about to because I see
I'm nodding.
I see the foundation for a fucking awesome movie, but the found footage stuff, I can't get over it, man.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say it. I feel bad. 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. This movie is so fucking cool otherwise.
Okay.
And I just can't get over the way the found footage impacts the narrative.
You just think it ruins it?
Yeah, honestly, I think everything else about this movie is so fucking awesome, and it makes me really, really sad that I have to give it a low rating because the package in which it is delivered is so poorly done.
Fair.
It's so hard to like. It's so hard for me to justify giving it a higher rating because it's scary. It's good. I like the performance from most of the actors. The dialogue is fine. The dialogue is good other than the actual like people on the camera crew. Yeah.
Why'd you give it a 2.5 and not a 2 though?
Because I like everything else.
Okay.
Everything else about this movie makes me sad that I can't even give it a 3.
Okay. I was kind of in between 2 and 3 as well.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the 2. Not even a 2.5. 2.
Yeah.
Cause like, I think what I'm starting to figure out is I like to do these from a really preset judging list. I think you tend to be more objective.
Okay.
Or I tend to be more objective, and you tend to be more like how you felt about it.
Yeah.
Which I think works out really well. So we get a kind of a mix of ratings.
Sure.
But for me, this film set out with a concept that was like possession, but we're going to link this into Alzheimer's, and we're going to show like the intermingling of those and how like basically mental health issues can destroy a family. Because at the end of the day, yeah, there's a demonic possession, but it's really just a hard-coded, what's the word? It's like a hard-coded analogy for Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
it's demonic possession, but they're just talking about mental illness.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hard concept to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
And when they deal with it well, they deal with it really well. But going back to the beginning of this podcast, it's like that director when he's talking about remaking The Exorcist.
yeah.
When you decide to deal with, like, when you set out and say, this is the concept I'm going to tackle, mental health, and, like, through the vase of a possession movie,
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up, not necessarily for failure, but for, like, a hard task ahead of you.
That's a tough subject.
And I think that's what this film did. It set a high bar for itself, and it would have to do a lot to meet it. And maybe it could have done those things if it had been like a normal style movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And not only does like the found footage aspects take away from the seriousness of the film, like that it would need for this.
Yeah.
But I think it detracts from it in a lot of cases. And so like I don't think the film was able to reach the points it set out with.
Yeah.
Which to me it would be a 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a 2. Like it wasn't like an awful film.
No.
Like it didn't have no positive sides, which would be a 1.
It rips my heart out that I have to give it a shitty rating, to be honest.
But it's a 2. Like I think if it had been found footage, but it had still like done a good job and not been cheesy, it probably could have been a 2.5. But
Yeah.
it's because it does some cheap things with the filming, not just cheap budgetary wise, but just cheap like jump scares with the channel crackings when
Yeah,
it doesn't need to and stuff like that. It just takes away from the energy of the concept.
And the rest of, like, the energy of, like, the rest of the film, the tone of the film.
There's a cheapness to the choice of found footage that isn't just for budgetary restrictions. It feels like trying to appease to a cheaper audience. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like the director wanted to make like a high class film,
And they totally could have.
but then just decided to make like something that you would put on Netflix in the bottom of the barrel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it evens out. Like, it's not horrible. Like, this isn't bottom of the barrel. I mean,
No.
it went on the podcast because I think it's interesting to talk about, but it definitely isn't, like, amazing. So, 2.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me, and I think this is attributed to the found footage style, is there are a lot of shots where it's just like a cheap jump scare cut away to like Deborah's face or something. If this hadn't been found footage, I don't think we would have gotten a lot of that. And I think I think the beginning of this film was really good because it's slow, and if they'd have been a lot slower
Yeah.
in her like demonic or her into her possession, I think it escalates too quickly for me. I want more time with her normal to see the sort of change in the progression, right? Because like it just flips almost instantly. It's like the first time she becomes violent, she becomes really violent really fast.
I think that's fine to show her fast progression. I think the point you're trying to get at is maybe what I said earlier, where it's not the fact that this is found footage that really hurts the film. It's the way they do their found footage.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that, like you said, I don't think we've watched any found footage movies on this podcast shows that, like, found footage can be very different
Yeah.
tonally. And this is just a very unserious kind of tone.
Yeah, it's the style at which they've chosen to do the found footage is very unserious in a very serious movie.
Or
A
at least
very
with a serious narrative.
And it clashes so hard, and it makes it so hard for me to like it.
And if it had done a different style of found footage, I think it could have been a 2.5 or even higher.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's that very, again, the closest thing I can liken to is that early Paranormal Activity movie. But, thought it was a good film to throw on here.
I will say this.
We get to see something that isn't just really, really good found footage.
I would consider this a good movie
Mm-hmm.
overall.
Yeah. I mean, even though we're giving it a 2.5, which is below halfway.
Yeah, I still think that's a good movie. It scared the shit out of me. The concept is cool. The plot is definitely interesting because I didn't really expect the whole. Because going in, you know what I expected: creepy old woman in house possession movie.
Yeah,
right? That's
it's
what
not.
I wanted, and it's not that. Because there's depth, there's layers to the film that you can't really unpack using the found footage
They're
style.
just muddled.
And it makes me sad because it could be really cool.
Yeah. That's just how films are sometimes. And it's good to see, especially because I think we've had a good relationship with what is a very controversial genre overall because it's usually not very good.
Yeah. Damn it.
But that's all I got. I guess you want to go to the outtakes?
Yeah, I guess we'll head to the outtakes,
All
Benjamin.
right. We're going to go now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you enjoyed our review of The Taking of Deborah Logan. I don't have a lot to say about this movie, so without further ado, let's get into the first outtake. This first one comes to us from before the movie. It's my reaction to the poster, as well as Well, let's just say I got really freaked out before the movie even began. Oh, that's nice.
Do you want to see the cover?
Can I see it? Like, is it going to spoil something, or are you calling legal?
It's
It's up to you.
it's legal. It's not
All
gonna
right.
spoil
Should I open my
anything.
eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no. I'm telling you right now, I don't like old women. I don't like old people. Old people in movies are fucking scary. This is not going to be good, Ben. I'm telling you right goddamn now. I'm going to shit my pants.
You'll be fine.
I'm also a little drunk off one beer.
Well, look, it's
'Cause
unrated.
I don't drink. What?
Well, have you eaten anything today?
I had some McDonald's earlier.
Oh. Well, that helps.
It does help.
I was like, I haven't eaten today.
Oh, you've had a beer?
I had a beer.
I
just
should
ate a
have asked you
granola
if you
bar.
had breakfast yet, because I was going to get something for you, but I didn't text you. I forgot.
All right. Close your eyes again, just in case.
Oh. This movie, Ben.
Did you not realize it was about old ladies?
No,
when
I know
said
it's about old ladies, but I
Alzheimer's?
didn't. I was hoping the old lady wasn't the possessed one.
Obviously, the old lady is the possessed
I know,
one.
but I was hoping.
It's called The Taking of Deborah Logan. Oh, by the way, you can open your eyes now. It's playing.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, the remote's not working. Stop panicking.
I'm scared. This is not an express fear that I've talked about on this podcast. I'm genuinely so scared of old people. Like, I think they're so creepy, dude.
All right, closed captioning.
The
should be
following
on.
film includes a partly edited medical documentary, outtakes, and surveillance footage from the scenes of the crime. The crime? This next clip is my reaction to the first of many, many, many jump scares delivered by Deborah Logan, as well as my reaction to a snake in the house for some reason. This is sad.
Yeah. Alzheimer's kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. Not to say, oh, this is going to sound bad. I was going to say, I got lucky and all my grandparents died before they got Alzheimer's.
No, all my dad's side of the family has it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, old man Ben's going to be a hoot.
Old man Ben's gonna die.
Is that a fucking snake? Oh, shit, lady. God damn, fucking pop it up in front of the camera like that. This next clip is our reaction to Deborah committing her first act of self-harm. You old woman. You're scaring me. Oh! Oh my god, what the fuck? Huh? What? She just rip her... What?
It's fine, Bob. Don't worry about it. Don't look at me like that.
I don't like this. This is what I expected from demons. And now we're getting it, and now I'm fucking terrified.
Maybe it's not demons.
Oh, maybe it's just Alzheimer's. Maybe she ripped her throat out because of Alzheimer's. That makes sense.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, really? I don't know a lot about it. Like I said, all my grandparents are dead.
I mean, not really, but like potentially.
This next clip is a short conversation Ben and I had during the movie about how unethical the crew was being by invading the privacy of Deborah and her daughter, as well as a small jump scare involving a mirror. Dude, okay, like, I get they're a documentary crew or whatever, but they are really creeping around this woman's house.
Oh, I know. It's
stalking the shit out of her.
They are an unethical documentary crew.
Very unethical.
I mean, did you see them spying on the mom and having a moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They shouldn't be doing that
Because, like,
shit.
ideally, this would have been a documentary, like, for educational purposes.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't include this footage.
Yeah.
It's just the documentary crew just being unethical and peeping.
Yeah, they need to... Do not, lady. Lady. No. Oh. Hi, I can't handle this. This next clip is Ben making fun of the way I get scared, followed by our reaction to Deborah skulking around the house in the middle of the night with a hammer. Yo. Ah!
What is it?
What's she doing? That's not... No.
Bob, Bob's having an orgasm.
That's ew, bro.
That's what it sounds like.
That's you've never come in your life. Oh, this old woman.
No, you know that scene from Forrest Gump where he's mocking the guy
No,
having sex with his mom?
God, yeah, uh-huh.
It sounds like that.
Oh, no, lady. Please don't. Does she have a hammer? Oh, light just came, back porch light.
She may have a hammer.
Oh, at least, okay. Now I'm not as stressed. There's another person here. This next clip is our reaction to Deborah Logan having an absolute meltdown and assaulting one of the cameramen. Oh, hey, oh my God, what the fuck? Why is this old lady so angry all the time? She is such a mad woman. I don't. Nope. She like fucking assaulted the camera. This next clip is our reaction to another one of Deborah Logan's freakouts. This time it takes place in the hospital. Oh my God, what the fuck? Why does she keep skinning herself? Now she's growling. This is not, no,
Bob got so scared he threw off his beanie.
I don't like this. This movie's scary. Oh God. I threw my beanie because it's hot in here.
Mm-hmm. Likely story.
Oh God damn it. I want to punch this old lady in the face.
Don't punch the Alzheimer's patient, Bob.
It's not Alzheimer's!
It's Alzheimer's.
There's no fucking way, Benjamin.
Don't be mean to the disabled.
Oh, thank God.
Bob's into punching sick people.
That's not true. That's not
Terminal.
true.
The
That's not true.
terminally ill are hated by Bob.
I know. I'm into punching people who are possessed by demons. Okay. I'm gonna pick up my beanie now. Why is she fucking shrieking like a cat in heat? Oh my God, she doesn't have any pants on. What the fuck? This is crazy. This next clip is another scare by Deborah Logan just being a creepy old woman in a room full of sheets. No, get the fuck. I hate movies with sheets. Sheets in movies are never a good goddamn sign.
Nah, it's fine.
No, it's not, Benjamin.
It's not like there's anyone under the sheets.
Now, not like there's anyone standing under that sheet specifically. Because there is definitely an old woman somewhere in this room.
Why would you ever say that?
Duh. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh. It's a painting of the window.
Yeah.
With the shadow monster man
it's getting
thing
closer.
that we saw earlier in her other earlier paintings. That one's got blood on it. That one, this lady definitely has issues.
Don't say that, Bob. It's mean.
Dude, she fucking started skinning herself earlier.
Maybe she was too hot. Oh, did you see that one down there?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I did.
Sometimes you just get hot and you gotta like take the extra layer off.
Uh-huh. Ah! Fucking old lady! Letting all my heat out? Oh, and she used... she has telekinesis. She just popped that window with the cross on it. That's really cool. This next clip is our reaction to, while possessed, Deborah getting butt naked, wandering upstairs and messing with her old switchboard, and then it explodes. Look at Gavin. He's like hiding. I would be hiding too. This is scary.
I thought there was Lewis.
No, Luce is the dude behind the camera. Gavin's the other dude.
That's fair. He's making a sandwich.
Please tell me she got dressed while she was in that closet. Because I don't want to see a naked old woman. Like, at all. I'm not. Huh. Why does this bitch have 3 closets? No. No. Brown got to go first? Yeah, they do. God damn it. This old lady's probably racist.
Well, no, actually, she hasn't been racist so far. Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's skin. Dude. This shit ain't right. Lewis is correct. This shit ain't right. This shit ain't. That's the name of the episode. This shit ain't right.
We can't put shit in there.
This stuff. Oh, she's naked.
You want the brown guy to go first. Or
She's
naked.
butt ass naked.
Ah, she ripped all the curtains off stuff.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, now she's crying. That's not good. Oh, she's asking for someone to help her. That's really cool.
What's the sound, Bob?
I don't know. Holy fuck! This next clip is our reaction to Sarah and the remaining members of the crew finding Dee Hardine's corpse in the attic of the house. But let's just say there wasn't only a corpse in the bag.
Fucking daughter's brave, you know what's in there.
I Oh, okay. That's not gross. That's not that bad. I was afraid I was gonna throw up.
It's a black putrefied corpse.
Yeah. What I'm worried about is where the fuck is Deborah?
She's at the hospital.
Is she?
Yeah.
Throw it in the fireplace. You can't burn it on the fucking floor. At least put it in the fireplace. Okay.
They are, Bob. It's a fireplace. They have to get it set up. It's a wood fireplace. Oh.
Hissing. Snakes. No. I wouldn't. No, just throw it in the fire. If it's a snake. Ah! It's a fucking snake. Why are there so many?
There's a lot of snakes.
And I don't know if they're venomous or not. They're black, so maybe? I don't actually know.
Those look like rat snakes, like a king snake or something.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back from the outtakes. I'm sure there were a few. That movie scared
Bob's
the
still
shit
fucking
out of me.
annoyed about the movie.
Yeah, I'm mad about it, but whatever. We'll get over it. Any announcements, Ben?
Yeah, we're releasing a Mardi Gras episode. Surprise!
Oh, yeah.
That's coming out on the
20th.
21st.
21st.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, 21st.
Tuesday. So look out for that.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I'm really curious what we're going to watch, actually, because I don't know any Mardi Gras movies. I don't know a lot about Mardi Gras in general. I know it's like a New
kind
Orleans
of a
thing.
stretch.
Yeah, well.
My categories were just Louisiana. Hopefully New Orleans.
That makes sense. That's fun.
So,
Watch out for that episode.
I think that's all I got, though.
Oh, okay. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @BewareTheBoard. It's where I post everything about the show, updates, links to the episodes when they go live, polls. Basically, if you want to know anything about this show, it goes on our Twitter. Every Monday, I will post spoilers for the following episode on Friday so that, if you want to watch the movie before you watch it, you can do that. Check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, if you haven't already, you might have forgotten. I know how forgetful you guys can be.
Oh, God damn it.
Go, like, comment, subscribe, stab that subscribe button with like a spade or something. Just really, really get up in there and just bury us with likes and comments afterwards. But, check us out there. Eventually, we'll be on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast.
Yep, eventually.
But not right now.
Not as of recording this episode. Maybe by the time it goes up. If you have any recommendations for the random category on the board, leave those in the comments below. Let us know, because we need them. They're required for us to do the show.
Or I could just pick a second category and have fun.
Or that. I don't want that, considering how bad his category has been this time. If you have any movies that you want us to watch on the show, leave them in the comments. Because you know what? Ben can sift through those and find movies. Maybe there's something you've heard of that's awesome that Ben's never heard of, and we could watch it.
Help me with my watch list.
Help him out. Let me think. I think that's
all we
about
got.
it. So I guess we'll see you next week, everybody.
And remember, always beware the board.